What happened? How did you guys even find this?
Well, you want to talk to her because I wasn't here.
Okay.
She was walking the dog, and I got a phone call at work saying how this fell inside the house. I didn't find it as she did, so...
Yeah, I was walking the dog through the woods, and I came out over there
Right.
and just saw it on Friday morning.
Okay. Well, and Dad, what was your reaction when you heard what was on that?
Well, I mean, instantly, like infuriated. I was extremely mad. I mean, wasn't like shocked to see that it had happened because, you know, me growing up being, you know, half black, I've heard the word several times. I was like just mad, you know, like upset. I'm like you gotta be kidding me, you know, and instantly it was like almost like, I don't know how to explain it. Just like frustrated, you know.
How does it make you feel for your kid that?
Well, I'm like, I feel bad that he has to deal with that. You know, he's played 8 years Bengals football. He moved on to the high school. He looked forward to playing there. I mean, he has ties to the school, so, you know, I mean, I just feel bad for him because it must be crappy, you know, the way he's going. He doesn't want to go to school, and it's like, you know, you got to go to school, and so...
The chief and the superintendent came by. What did that mean to the family that they did that?
Well, I was glad to see that they're like supportive. You know, they're obviously trying to find, you know, whoever has done this, and they're, you know, reaching out to, you know, Isaac and stuff to make sure. It's not my concern with the school and as far as the town. Like I said, I'm more disgruntled with, you know, it's a football program. You know, the kids represent the coach. If you allow certain things to go on, if a certain behavior is acceptable, you know, it leads to stuff like this. And nowadays, with everything that goes on, with kids getting too depressed and grades dropping, and you wonder why certain things happen. If you're gonna just turn your head and say, well, there's no way that my football players could do something like this, instead of investigating it, canceling games, getting down to the bottom of it. Well, now these kids want to write, like, you know, the racial slurs. So it's like, you know, it's almost like it could have been prevented. You know, I'm not mad at the town. The town's been very supportive. I'm not mad at, like, the superintendent, because, I mean, she didn't know it was going on. They did what they had to do, which is cancel the game, because if you don't, you're still sending the signal that it's okay that what you guys are doing. You know, they're trying to, I wouldn't say, like, cover their butt, but it is kind of,
Too little, too late.
Yeah.
I know that it's not an easy question to answer, but how did you react when you saw that?
Well, when I saw it, when I got told about it, I was just like, I really didn't know, like, what to think of it. Like, it was just confusing because, like, I didn't really think that someone would have did that, but then, like, it did happen, so.
It's pretty hurtful, I assume.
Yeah. I mean, like, I have 2 younger brothers and a younger sister that, like, this is our house, this is where we live. It's just like eventually they're gonna see it, so.
How could someone come and do that to a house full of a family, right?
Yeah.
Does this make you double think about whether you still want to play football and sports?
Well, I definitely still want to do sports. It's just the fact that if it's Lunenburg or not.
So you think that you don't want to even go to Lunenburg anymore? You're thinking of transferring to Leominster?
Yeah. So, like, eventually I want to go to, like, LHS, Leominster High School, so, like, I probably gonna go to, like, Skyview if I can go there, but, like...
Well, we don't know.
But at this point, you just don't want to deal with it.
He doesn't
doesn't
want
wanna
to
go
go to
back, yeah.
Lunenburg School. He doesn't know where he's gonna go. It's not like, you know, he doesn't want to go to the school anymore. He's, you know, beyond upset about the whole situation, you know, and I guess he just wants to kind of like move on, you know.
Yeah.
He does play other sports out of town, so I think that has a lot to do with that decision. You know, he's played Fitchburg sports, Leominster sports, you know, wrestling, lacrosse, so, you know, I think that's the more line he's thinking, that, like, you know, I might as well just go to a different high school and play somewhere else.
And I understand this wasn't the first time that someone had hazed you, bullied, whatever you want to call it. What's your reaction to that, as that's been going on?
With the shoe, and my cleats in the trash with the water, I mean, like, I was mad, but, like, it wasn't as serious as this. Like, I mean, like, also that day, someone else popped my tire, which that was, like, my ride home. So, like, I mean, like, I really don't understand, like, why someone would even, like, do something like this.
Yeah, your question is why? Why do people do these things, right?
Yeah.
And the coaches were notified at that point. They were notified, and Bill's comment was, a football player wouldn't have done this. So that's your statement. That's how you're dealing with the situation. And now look. So it was a month ago. You would have put a stop to it then. It's plain and simple. It's not acceptable behavior. No game this week. Sorry, seniors. Won't you get on, whoever it is, if you guys want to have a season. And then it simply sends a message saying there's acceptable behavior and then there's, non-acceptable behavior. I get it. You're younger. You have to pay your homage or whatever. That's fine. You want to throw water on my jersey. You want to hide my cleats. That's fine. You want to now pop my tires, that's a crime. Racial slurs on the house, that's a crime. It's almost like it was snowballing. You give them an inch, they take a mile, type of deal. The kids were getting more, whoever it was getting more serious with what he was doing, or that we don't know,
And Mom, Scott, do you want me to stay on this side?
Yeah.
Mom? Or on this side?
Okay.
You're the one who found it. What was your reaction when you found that?
I just obviously couldn't believe it. I mean, I've never had a problem here. Well, he's never had a problem here with anything like that. So it was I just couldn't believe it. I mean, it was obviously upsetting. That's my kid. So that's all. I just couldn't believe that somebody would do it, especially somebody on his team. I mean, they're supposed to be a team.
Right.
It's obviously not.
And I understand this isn't the first time that he's been hazed.
No, with the cleat issue and the bike issue, like he said, obviously, if it would have been stopped at that point, it should have been stopped at that point. If they would have, the principal did go through the tapes, couldn't see who actually had done the issue with the bike. But like he said, if they would have stopped practice at that point and asked them who did it and not allow them to go out there until that point, I know it wouldn't have gotten this far, because it can't be the whole team's not like that. So it's obviously this one group or one person that keeps targeting him for that reason, and now it's gotten this far.
I mean, what does it say that he doesn't even want to go to the school anymore?
It's upsetting, obviously. I mean, all my kids all go here, so.
It's frustrating because, my other one plays football too. Yeah, he's 8. He's coming through. He's gonna play 3rd grade through 8th grade and then go to the high school too. That we live here. It's like, now she has to get up in the winter and drive him to Leominster and come back in time for my other 2 to get on the bus. And it's like, it's a crappy situation, like, to be in. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it's beyond frustrating, and it's almost like I feel sincerely that something could have been done about it.
Yeah.
And people just always wonder why certain instances happen. There's red flags galore all the time. There's certain people just gotta open their eyes. If like I said, if you allow a certain behavior to happen, it becomes acceptable. My 8-year-old's pushing on my daughter. I don't award him with, I don't take him out for ice cream. You're telling him it's okay. You put your hands on your sister. You punish them for it. You take something away. Football is so important to these kids. It's not, just like she said, that it's not all of them. If I'm a senior, some seniors will never play again. I want this year to be my year, whatever it is. I'm not going to tolerate a few certain punks. So if you would have stop the season earlier, not stop it, but you know,
Stop their behavior.
yeah, you know, maybe someone would have came forward. Maybe the person that was doing this stuff would have been, you know,
Somebody would have been more likely to come forward about a tire rather than this.
yeah, no
With the
one's gonna
severity of
say,
it. Nobody's
"I did
gonna now
this."
say, "Oh, it was me." I don't think, but I don't know. I don't know, obviously, if they've talked to each other or whatever. That's what I'm hoping for. But
And you're obviously upset. Is it out of, you know, the degradation of your property? Is it because of what's going on with your
it's
son?
my kid, and my grandfather just did a lot for the school. I always wanted him to go there. He didn't want to live here in the beginning, and we came here to have a better place for the kids to be. And so I feel like I kind of stuck him into this situation, and now this happened to him. And it's obviously crappy, and he doesn't even feel comfortable being there. So